2023 WA1 for Year 2 students. In the first question, we have a pictogram. Now, when we look at the pictogram, the most important thing is what each picture represents. So in this case here, one tin represents 20 tins. So we could actually see the number as 20 for each tin. Therefore, if we want to find the total profit gain in shop A, if each tin is sold at $3, we first find the total number of tins in shop A. So since we have 4 tins here, each representing 20, so the total number of tins is actually 20 times 4, which is 80 tins. And since each tin is $3, then we have 80 times 3, which is $240. Now, in the next question, we want to find the difference in the number of tins sold by shop A and the number of tins sold by shop C. So shop C has sold altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 compared to 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So therefore, in terms of the diagram, the difference is 2.5. So this 2.5 in the picture, each representing 20, so we multiply by 20, and that will give us 50 tins. See the difference between the two shops. In the diagram, it shows 2.5 tins different, but each tin actually represent 20. So therefore, it's 2.5 times 20. In the last part, the total number of tins sold for all the 3 shops is 400. So altogether, we have 400 tins. And if we want to find the number of tins in shop B, then we should be taking the total, which is 400, minus away the tins in shop A and shop C. Now, we have seen that the total number represented here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 10.5. So in the total number in shop A and C is 10.5, but this is only the picture, therefore each one is 20. Each picture represents 20. So we have a total of 210 tins in shop A and C. So the number in shop B will be the total, which we have given as 400, right? Minus away 210. So that gives us 190. Now they want us to indicate the number of tins that we should draw. Now since one tin represented 20, therefore to find the number of tins that we have to draw, we need to take 190, which is the actual number of tins, divided by 20, which represent one picture in the diagram, and this gives us 9.5. So we need to draw 9.5 tins for shop B. We now move on to the next question. In this question, we see a dot diagram. Now, a very important thing to note is the total frequency, which in this case is 20. The first part requires us to find the model number of goals scored. The horizontal line represents the number of goals scored. So therefore, what we need to do is to look for the number of goals that have the highest frequency, which is represented by the dots. So therefore, here we can see that the model number of goals scored is 4. Because it has the highest frequency compared to all the others. Calculate the total number of goals scored for 20 matches played. Now, they are all together 20 matches, represented by 20 dots. Now, to find the total number of goals, we know that we have 0 goal here, right? And this is 1 goal. And all these dots here actually represent 2 goals each. So the total number of goals here is actually 3 times 2. And the total number of goals here is 1 times 1. And this is 0 times 1, or 1 times 0. Right, so each one represents 3. So we have 4 times 3. And this one is 6. And each dot represents 4. So we have 6 times 4. And the last one is 5 times 3. So we add all the goals together. That will give us the total number of goals. So we add 1 plus 6 plus 12. Plus 24 plus 15. That gives us a total of 68. Right, in the last part, we are to find the angle of the sector that represents the team which scored 3 goals. So these are the teams which scored 3 goals. So we have altogether 4. And 4 out of how many? 4 out of 20. Right, so we have 4 out of 20. And it's a fraction of the total angle, which is 360 degrees. And that gives us 72 degrees. Now we move on to the next question. In this question, we have a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. Again, we note the total frequency for each. Total frequency for the apples, we have 20. And the total frequency for bananas is also 20. Now, it's very important to take note of the key. and what it represents. For the apple, to know the total number of apples, we must always read from the stem first. So in this case here, the values are read backwards. So this is read as 116, then 117, 118, 119, right? Reading backwards. That is what it means. 6/11 is actually read backwards, is 116 grams. And in the other side, we read it forward. We have 123, 125, 127. We always read from the stem first. So now we know that the scores are all in the range of hundreds. So our answers should be in the range of hundreds as well. Alright, now the first part requires us to find the range for bananas, or the range of bananas is 56 grams, and we want to find X. Now what is the range? The range is the highest value minus the lowest value. The highest value is always at the bottom. Here we are talking about bananas, so right at the bottom is X. But X is not the number of bananas, or not the mass of the bananas. So as we can see here, 152 represents 152. That means it is 150 plus 2. So therefore, over here, the maximum value will be 170 plus X. And that is the maximum value. And the minimum value is right at the top. That is 123. So we minus the minimum value, 123. And this gives us the range, which is 56 grams. Right? So we solve this equation, and we can see that X is actually 9. So X is the number here, which is only the leaf or the last digit, but the value here is 179. Now let us take a look at the apples, the required range for apples. Again, what is the highest value and the lowest value? Okay, so the last number in this case is 5, so it's read as 165. So the maximum value is 165. And the lowest value is the first one nearest the stem, that is 116. So we subtract 116, and that gives us the range for the apples, which is 49. Now we look at the median mass of the apples. The median mass of 20 apples, 20 apples. So since there are 20 apples, the middle or the median, right, score is actually between the 10 and the 11 score. So we start counting to the 10th and 11th position to find the median. We always start counting from the stem. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the 10 score is 130, and the 11 score is also 130. Therefore, the required median is 130 plus 130 divided by 2, and that is still 130 grams. Alright, now explain why the mean may not be an appropriate average. As we know, whenever the mean is not being used, we know that it is because of an outlier. So just now we see that 179 is far away from the rest of the scores. Alright, so it's the one that will affect the mean. Therefore, it cannot be used. In the last part, which fruit, apple or banana, are heavier in mass? So we must provide the evidence by comparing the medians. The median for the bananas, we need to find out which is again is between the 10 and the 11 score. So we count from the stem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the 10 score is a 133 and the 11 score is a 134. Therefore, we have the median for the bananas is 133 plus 134 divided by 2, and that gives us 133.5. Alright, so 133.5. And this is actually more than the median for apples, which we have found earlier on, 130. Therefore, we conclude that bananas are heavier in mass. Okay, so the median is an accurate comparison than the mean. Alright, now let us look at the next question. In question 4, we have class intervals. Now, class intervals does not have any accurate answer for the mean because we do not know what are the actual values. And you know that each time when we have class intervals, we need to calculate the mid value, which is just the average of the highest and the lowest score. That means we have 140 plus 150 divided by 2, and that gives us a single score. It's only with a single score then we can do calculations for the mean. Now let's look at the first part, which requires us to find the fraction of students who are less than 160 cm. Less than 160 cm, we have 21 students here, and another 3 which are also less than 160. So the required fraction is therefore 21 plus 3 over total number of students. Okay, again, we need to know the total frequency, which is 40. Right? It's given in the sum. So over 40. And this gives us 3/5. Now we want the model class interval. That means the class interval that has the highest frequency. So this is the class interval that has the highest frequency of 21. Therefore, the model class interval is 150 less than h less than 160. As stated earlier on, right, to find the mean, we can only find the estimated mean because we do not know the actual values in each class interval. We need a single score in order to calculate the mean. So using the mid value, the estimated mean will be found by taking 3 times the single score of 145 plus 21 times the single score of 155 plus 10 times single score plus 6 times the single score 175, right, over the total number of students. And that gives us 159.75. Okay, explain why this is only an estimate. As what we have mentioned earlier on, we do not know the actual or the exact raw data in each class interval. We know there are 3 scores here, but we do not know how many 140 or 141 or 142 or 143. That is why we cannot find the actual mean. We can only estimate by getting a single value, which is the mid value, to calculate an estimate of the mean. Now we move on to the last question. Now in the last question, we have a frequency table. And in the frequency table, we have an unknown frequency. The number of workers is the frequency. It's always the score on top and the frequency below. Now, they say that the mode is 0 days per week. So the mode is the score with the highest frequency. So that means the frequency of the mode is 15, and nothing can be more than 15 because 15 is the highest frequency. So the largest value that x can have is x equals to 14. It cannot be more than 15 or equal to 15. It has to be less. And the highest it can go is 14. Now we look at the median. They say that the median is 1 day per week. Now how many ones are there? There are actually 3 ones. So which one is the median? But we want to find the largest possible value of x. Now we know that the median is in the middle. And if the median is in the middle, then there will be equal scores on both sides. So in this case here, we want x to be the largest. In order that x is the largest, we must make this side here the largest amount. And yep, that is what we can do. Since we have 3 scores here, so there are 2 scores here, plus 15 will be 17 score. So that means on this side we should also have 17 score, since the median is in the middle here. We have 17 score, so x plus 2 must be 17. Because the median is in the middle, we have equal number of score on both sides. Okay, so we have therefore x plus 2 is 17, and that gives us x is 15. And this completes the discussion of the WA1 2023. Thank you.